Fantastic if we could slow down aging. We talked about the biological mechanisms behind aging yesterday. We talked about lifestyle modifications we can make, from getting more sleep to exercising more, to doing mobility exercises, maintaining a healthy weight and a healthy diet. Even being less stressed could be helpful in this regard, and it is in many other regards anyway, so we should try to do that. But what are the top natural supplements? What are the top natural supplements, if any, that actually exist? According to human clinical trials, the proof, what does it show for things that actually have an anti-aging effect? Because a lot of things purportedly have anti-aging effects, right? So we have five big ones on this list as primary options, and then we have a bunch of secondary options that are great for you as well, that can also help with many different areas. First one, and these are not in order of efficacy, blueberries would probably be top if we did it like that, but we're going to save them for a second. First, B12. Vitamin B12, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan, you could be at a risk for deficiency. Now, we don't need copious amounts of B12 if we're getting enough from the diet. In fact, we really don't need much at all if we're getting enough from the diet. But a lot of us don't get enough from the diet. And so 100 to 400 micrograms can help to reduce the odds of deficiency. And if we have deficiency, we get nerve damage, we get anemia, cognitive impairment, mood impairment, a lot of serious things. It's also a cofactor in energy metabolism. It's involved in red blood cell production, a lot of things of that nature, right? And so it's extremely important, I think, to get some B12. We have just a few micrograms in Super U, to lower the chances that somebody's deficient. It's not quite as much, because not everybody really needs this much. But again, the dosage here, for the purpose of having some anti-aging benefit, was 100 to 400 micrograms in a day, okay, which is a pretty decent amount. Next one is blueberries. Well, blueberries are great for like everything. Blueberries, I herald all the time. I love blueberries. I think everybody should be eating blueberries all the time. If there were actually superfoods, blueberries would be one of them. They're phenomenal. Right up there with fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, tuna and herring, and extra virgin olive oil. Avocados are great. Leafy greens are great. A lot of that stuff. But blueberries are absolutely fantastic. They have a high anthocyanin and pterostilbene content. And those are powerful antioxidants that have a neuroprotective effect, meaning they help to protect our brain and hence our nerves. Now, this reduces your risk for cognitive decline. They improve your episodic memory. That's memory where you're recalling where you were at a specific time, a specific place, whether it's days, weeks, months, years ago. Improve cognitive executive function. Probably the best thing in terms of improving functioning is that. Cognitive executive function is a collection of behavioral processes in the brain responsible for generating some stimulus in response to what your brain is trying to do, in essence. Things like organization, right? Making plans come to fruition. People with ADHD have poor cognitive executive function. At least, albeit they may be strong in one parameter of it. It could be, memory or planning or organization or something like that. They could be good at one of them, but typically, overall, all-encompassing, they have deficits in cognitive executive functioning. And so boosting executive function is a fantastic thing to do. Another way that it helps to do that is stimulating NGF, neuronal growth factor. Neuronal growth factor is something that stimulates the production of new neurons, new brain cells, more brain cells. That's right. And improves their connectivity, helps to form new pathways and connections. Just an absolutely great thing to stimulate. Some other things that stimulate nerve growth would be intermittent fasting for extended periods. And exercise is one of the biggest ones. Booster of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, another neurotrophin, something that promotes the growth of neurons. Right? NGF is another one. So blueberries. How many blueberries do I have to eat a day? Well, if you had a pack, one of those pints, you'd be safe. That'd be good. Now, if you have 3/4 even, you should be fine. So I try to tell people, have about a pack, and especially after a workout or something. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Get some carbs, get some good soluble fiber as well. Full of antioxidants and vitamins and minerals. Great stuff. Electrolytes, Blueberries are absolutely fantastic, low on the glycemic index, an awesome food if you're going to eat them. Now, if you're going to take a supplement, you don't want to take, if you take blueberry powder, you need a whole crap load of it. Blueberry anthocyanins, remember the anthocyanins in the pterostilbene are what are responsible for providing the benefits here majorly in terms of having these anti-aging effects, these benefits on the brain, on cognition and brain health, right? And so you get something that's standardized for anthocyanins, and you're looking for anywhere from 0.5 grams, so half a gram to a full gram, 1 gram of anthocyanins. Half a gram to 1 gram of anthocyanins in a day. Okay. Next is Alcar on our list. Acetyl L-carnitine. Carnitine is best known for its role in metabolism as it acts as a shuttle to shuttle long-chain fatty acids from the cytosol of the cell through the mitochondrial membrane into the mitochondria to be burnt for energy. When we are now able to go and break down fat, go through beta oxidation and produce a bunch of energy, right? So without it, we would have trouble doing that. Yeah. But aside from boosting energy metabolism, right? So definitely can help to increase energy and efficiency in energy metabolism. It also improves blood flow. It also improves muscle coordination and reduces muscle fatigue. Now, it's formed from, I believe, the amino acids lysine and methionine. So, albeit, the body can make carnitine, we actually get most of it, probably 3/4 of it from the diet typically. At least, we typically have to have ample amounts of carnitine, which levels decline as we get older. So that's why this is a good one to supplement with. Another thing that declines as we get older that has some pronounced physiological effects, that was carnosine. We were talking about that. They sound similar is why I wanted to say it. Don't confuse them. That was beta-alanine combined with histidine. It's carnosine. Another anti-aging compound. Great one. It wasn't on this list per se, but there are some great supplements I'm going to talk about that I think we should also have aside from what was on this list, right? And this is per Examine. There are some great options that maybe there's just not as many human clinical trials, but they seem really promising. Anyway, so without getting off track, this is the third one, is carnitine. So why Alcar, acetyl L-carnitine? Because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. So it can enhance cognition as well, can affect metabolism in the central nervous system. And that's a good thing. And improve blood flow. What foods would have carnitine? Typically, the redder the meat, the more carnitine it has. Right? Meat, fish, eggs, and some dairy products have carnitine. That's where most people get it in the diet, right? Yeah. So, carnitine, it's a good one. Alcar, because it crosses the blood-brain barrier, half a gram to a full gram. Same dosage as blueberry anthocyanins. Protein is next on our list at number 4. Protein is important for a lot of things in the body, and we think of it for muscle growth. And guess what? Well, muscle growth is something that supports anti-aging, can help to slow the harmful effects of aging. Because when we build more muscle mass, that's associated with increased bone mineral density and longevity itself. So we definitely want to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you want to check out our video where we talk about all the different amounts of protein per different demographics and people with different goals, check it out. It's on Win Wellness. You want me to go through really fast, some of them? In case you guys, it's annoying on Instagram, you got to scroll. We're trying to get it set on the website. But the last one's vitamin D, by the way, before I go on this 2-second rant. Sedentary lifestyle, obesity. Obesity was 50% of your body weight in grams. Sedentary lifestyle, this is how much protein in a day. Sedentary lifestyle was 60% of your body weight in grams. Lactating woman was 70% of your body weight in grams. Pregnant woman was 80% of your body weight in grams. Somebody with a healthy weight, looking to maintain an active weight, it was around 1 gram per pound of body weight. It was 1 to 1.2 grams per pound if you're looking to build muscle and burn fat. And it was up to like 1.5 for bodybuilders, albeit recent research has shown that, 1 gram or 1.2 showed similar benefits per pound for building muscle. There was not much additional benefit conferred. That depends how big you are, though. Okay, so there we go. Try and get your body weight in grams of protein per day, guys. That's the idea. But just so you don't have to try and scroll through all the way back to the video, that was the gist of it. Vitamin D. Vitamin D is number 5 here. And vitamin D is most heralded for bone health and immunity. Here's the issue. we don't, and it supports calcium absorption, by the way, right? So that's why they'll put it in dairy products. It's scarce in foods, rare to find it in food sources. Fatty fish have about the most, like cod liver oil, fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, tuna, herring, stuff like that. I think salmon is one of the higher sources, cod liver oil too, whatever. But other than that, egg yolks, it's pretty rare. Things fortified with vitamin D, things grown in the sun, mushrooms they grow with the gills up, where they cut them and then they put them, they turn the belly up. Belly, it's the gills, and they increase the surface area. They'll absorb sunlight, go from like 100 IU to 50,000 IU in 2 days. It's exposed from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We talked about that research. So if they were mushrooms like that, yeah. If they're not, then they're just standard mushrooms. There's probably almost no vitamin D in them. So the best source is the sunlight, right? So what happens as we get older? We don't get as much sunlight. It's harder to synthesize vitamin D, right, from even the same amounts of sunlight. And especially if you live in the northern hemisphere, and especially if somebody has darker skin, it takes more sunlight to produce the same amount of vitamin D. So if you have darker skin, especially, and if you're older, you should definitely be taking some vitamin D. A decrease in vitamin D is associated with increased belly fat. That's definitely another fact. And we work inside all the time, guys, right? So we don't get enough vitamin D typically. 50 micrograms. 50 micrograms is what you're looking for. Now, vitamin D supports calcium absorption. And we said that's why it's paired with dairy often, right? They work synergistically together. However, that calcium, you want to make sure is deposited into bones, not into soft tissue. You don't want it to go anywhere. And so vitamin K2 can help to make that happen. You'd like to take them at a ratio of 45 micrograms of K2 to 25 micrograms of vitamin D3. D3 is the animal source one that we preferably would go for over D2. Ergocalciferol, right? Cholecalciferol is the D3. So what are some options aside from these 5 supplements, which are pretty much probably good for everybody that we can have to help support anti-aging? Well, we have creatine, choline, sources of choline like alpha-glycerolphosphorylcholine or CDP-choline. Those both cross the blood-brain barrier. They're great. Alpha-GPC is in Super U, by the way. So is creatine, actually. Funny we say. Magnesium, maca root, vitamin E, vitamin K, and DHEA. Those are all the secondary options they list on Examine. All right, and they're for the purposes of improving immunity and energy levels and libido and supporting bone health, and heart health and things of that nature, right? So even good for women, reducing symptoms of menopause. You look at something like maca root, right? Maca root's the big libido one too, for those of you who are curious about that. But those are some good things. What would I add in? Probably myself, that I think most all of us should be taking. I think fish oil, omega-3, cod liver oil, something of that nature, I would definitely say. So I like adding omega-3s. I like adding a powerful anti-inflammatory. Curcumin is fantastic. 95% curcuminoids, 1.5 grams a day. I live by that. I take it every day. Reducing joint pain, improving joint mobility, reducing joint stiffness, just reducing inflammation of the body is typically a good thing, unless you have an acute injury where it's required to get some chemical messengers there, immune messengers to help, do work at the site temporarily, but prolonged inflammation is definitely not a good thing, right? So that I would say I would add curcumin. I would add probiotics. I say bolster the gut microbiome. I think that's absolutely a great thing. Why not add a multivitamin in there? Just minimize the risk of deficiency of things that we didn't even talk about, like zinc and other trace minerals like manganese and strontium, molybdenum, and stuff that you're probably not going to get, right? I think it's a good idea, iron, I think it's a good idea to probably take a multivitamin for all of us too. So that's what we got for you guys today. Good amount, but I think something worth going over. Today's the last day we're going to talk about aging. If you guys have any questions about how to reduce the harmful effects of aging, you can shoot me a message or speak now. Or forever hold your peace. No, I'm just kidding. You can just message me. Totally cool. And, we'll talk about that. So, hope you guys had a fantastic day. Hope you feel a day younger today, if anything. And if you treat your body with respect and you exercise and you sleep well, you work hard, but you recover hard, you recover well. You don't fill Maserati up with regular, right? If you're going to work your ass off, you gotta make an effort to get an extra hour or two of sleep every night. Eat good meals, replenish. If you do things like that, you improve your mobility. Do something like yoga. See a chiropractor. Keep this healthy, your spine, up to par and natural, and keep good posture all the time. Then maybe you will feel a day younger, But if not, it can come catch up to you pretty quick. So that's my advice to you. Who do we got? Say hello to my little friend. Crazy tonight. I'm tired. I'm glad I remembered that. My working memory must be pretty good from all the blueberries I eat. Working memory actually has mixed results in human trials for benefit from blueberries, but yeah, I think it helps them. I think it helps it. Working memory is like what you can keep on the forefront of your mind. Brandon Malone, Raleigh the Barber, Fausto Furnos, Misha 77, Veronica. What's up, most gorgeous woman alive? How you doing? I'm leaving soon, so I hope you start cooking soon. Selmac, Mandenzil. What up, TS? Insta Aaron, MP Panico, Larry, Suave, style for you, Sorb, Chris Presco, Richie, Ursul, Esty Oliver, Tim Venom, R. Phillips, In the Wave, Anthony, Denise Brito, I appreciate you, thank you. Condelicioso, the Sammy Martinez Abdulio, first one of the day, Leo Salden Jr., Leo Saldner Jr. Thank you for coming on, my friend. I hope you had the best day today. This was for you. Go eat some of that anti-aging stuff and go do some of that anti-aging stuff. I think you'll be happy, especially in the years to come. You guys have an absolutely fantastic rest of your night. That's all we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have a great night. Thanks a lot, and happy wellness. Have so much fun doing this. We'll see you tomorrow.